That sounds so fun. Oh man, that's so fun. Oh my god. We're gonna have a good time.
He threw that patch on to make it look like he was in a club, but he was never in a club.
They want to be able to tack like 15 felonies up on jaywalking across the street. This outlaw motorcycle member and it doesn't matter what they stack on you.
Because they're a friend or they know somebody and they start hanging them around and making them an official hang around. Next thing you know, they're prospecting. Before you know it, they got a patch and I'm going, you've never been in a club.
His dad was a bandito. He borrowed $100 from the club. It might have been 1,000. I don't know. But his own son was 86.
I think it was from that point on, I was like, one day, I'm going to be one of those guys.
And he said, if you don't get on a stand, you're going to lose. You're going to jail. I said, I can't take the stand.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today we're going to talk about the developing story where the War Dogs had a casualty on their side with the brewing motorcycle war that's going on over there in Pennsylvania. Shout out to everybody that watches this show. I appreciate you taking the time. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's, brother's, sister's friend about Chatting with Stacks, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. Thank you guys all for joining me. We hit another milestone, 18,300. And we're growing every day. And I really appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for everything you do for this channel. I really appreciate you. Make sure you go check out Patreon. There's exclusive content over there. Started uploading new videos. I'm going to try again to do a live over there, but I don't know. And if it doesn't work, I'll just make a video and post it over there so I can tell you how I really feel. James, what's going on? Thank you for joining me. Good morning. Dominic, how are you? Good morning. Paul. There's that Paula. What's going on? Floyd, what's happening? Will, how are you? Eddie, Path Killer. XXX. Caved, good morning. Rah-rah, what's going on? Rory, what's good? Batshit Ben interview was very entertaining. Thank you. That one's going to be dropping on public pretty soon. Yeah, I figured if I'm talking about him, I might as well bring him on, right? It was funny. Shout out to Batshit Ben Basham from Chomo Stompers Worldwide. Slow Ride, what's good? How are you? Scrap Iron, what's good? M3 Creative Media, good morning. So we got a lot to talk about today. There's been some new developments in this case, and I apologize for not being on top of it sooner. Usually I'm the one that breaks the news, and I just been really busy with a lot of different things. So my apologies. I'm going to get back on top of things. But we got exclusive content over here that nobody else has. And I got to put my 2 cents about something. Private person, how are you? TCG, what's going on? So Hollywood did a show. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. And he started calling motorcycle clubs gangs because of this situation. You guys want to do stuff like this, then you're a gang. And I don't agree with you. I think that is part of the problem. That right there is part of the problem. I don't care if there's 100 more shootings. It still doesn't make these motorcycle clubs gangs. It doesn't. It just doesn't. If there's certain people who are doing certain things, it makes them people that are in a motorcycle club that committed crimes. It doesn't make the club a gang. So he was saying, oh, you get mad when they call you a gang. They're still not a gang. There's still a motorcycle club that had some people do certain things. And the reason why this is going on, breaking news, this situation is linked to the bar brawl that happened over there in Washington County, Pennsylvania, when the War Dogs swarmed a bar and started beating people, and everyone got scared. Here's a still footage from that situation. They had their cuts on. People weren't even identified yet. That's pretty crazy because I identified some people, but I'm not a police officer and I'm not doing their job for them. So I'm not going to release that information. It's not for me to do that. I'm not a cop, so. But these people aren't very hard to find. I mean, so this all stems from that situation. So if you guys aren't aware, the pagans were having a run. They went on a run. Nobody's around. The War Dogs stormed this bar, end up attacking some people in the bar. There was an alleged pagan member that was beat up by a whole bunch of people, beat him until he couldn't move anymore. And then they had some weapons. They say some shots were fired in the parking lot. They smashed some windows, things like that, and then they took off. So allegedly, this incident is connected to that incident. And it's sad that this type of stuff has to happen. A young man lost his life. His name was Kenneth. And he was a young kid. And this is breaking news. This is new information in the White Oak shooting. The victim was part of the War Dogs Motorcycle Club. Sources say as of Sunday, the shooting may have some links to the assault and incident that happened in Washington County biker bar in August. Police say 33-year-old Kenneth Hayman was shot while on his motorcycle at an intersection of Jack's Run Road and Lincoln Way. He later died. Inside that pickup truck, police believe there were 3 to 4 masked men with long guns. So they had long guns. Sources tell police they found that the suspect truck in Mount Pleasant in Westmoreland County. No arrests have been made yet. So, investigators are looking into the assault that happened at the 40 Bar and Grill in North Franklin Township in Washington County in August. During an interview with the bar owner, she said she believed it was a targeted attack. And sources said that the victim maybe have links to a different biker club. The owner and bartender said that they had bats, knives, guns, and they are assuming that she said dozens of motorcycle club members known as the War Dogs targeted one of the bar's regulars, beating him under a booth. And they beat him until he could not move anymore. So let's take a look at. So here's some pictures from the scene. It is sad. It's a young kid. And this is like tit for tat. When will this type of stuff end? But they're still not a gang. They're still a motorcycle club. So this is allegedly what the situation is linked to.
And I've never felt such terror in my entire life, not knowing if after that, they were going to come behind the bar.
Tonight, employees of a local bar are on edge after they were attacked by a big group of bikers. Thanks for joining us at 11. I'm Ken Rice. The violent scene unfolded at 40 Bar and Grill in Washington County over the weekend. The bar's owner tells Jennifer Barresso she believes it was a targeted attack.
Ken, I'm told the War Dogs Motorcycle Club showed up at this place and saturated it and quickly attacked one of their regulars here. Sources tell me the victim may have been from another motorcycle group and was targeted as a result.
Did they have weapons?
Yes, they had clubs, bats, knives, guns, I'm assuming.
40 Bar and Grill bartender Julia Couture recounts the terrifying moment she witnessed early Sunday morning. She tells KDKA dozens of motorcycle club members known as the War Dogs targeted one of the bar's regulars, beating him under this booth.
And then they all just jumped on.
I don't agree with you. Get out of your feelings. I don't agree with you. I think that these people are part of a motorcycle club and stuff's getting out of hand. And if some people in the club do certain things, that still doesn't make them a gang. I mean, they're a motorcycle club. People are running with the media's portrayal of them. And I don't know. It just seems like some people's narratives have changed. Because some people used to stick up for the motorcycle clubs, and now it seems like they're going in line with what the police are saying, and it's just crazy. Crazy.
On him and beat him so brutally and savagely. Like probably 15, 20 of them. They beat him until he literally was not moving on the ground. I'm screaming, me and my other bartender behind the bar, screaming on the top of our lungs to stop, please stop, and just feeling absolutely helpless.
Julia says she, her co-workers, and a handful of customers were so scared they scrambled for shelter in the basement.
I almost felt just frozen in fear, and I've never had such a sense of helplessness in my entire life. They just started destroying everything on the back deck, throwing bottles, throwing chairs through the doors. Shattered my door. Shattered everything.
At one point, sources tell me gunshots were fired outside of the bar. No one was hit. The bar's co-owner, Cheyenne Dennison, called 911 and rushed to help her employees.
And I'm just screaming for them, trying to get their attention. I'm screaming for them to get out of here. And they finally came creeping up the steps, and I knew that they were okay, and that was my number one thing coming here, is I wanted to make sure my employees were okay.
Dennison says the motorcycle club members were gone when police arrived, and so was the victim.
I was told that he may have been a pagan member. Is that true? Do you have any insight in that?
I have no idea. I don't know what caused this. I don't know what would cause anybody to act the way they did.
The bar owner defended the place she bought 5 months ago. She's upgraded security. She's going to add a panic button, and she may bring in security for the weekend. Now, state police, they are investigating this incident. I'm told there's at least one victim, but the motive is still unclear. Sources tell me no arrests have been made. Reporting in Washington County, Jennifer.
Damn, you guys didn't hear none of that, huh? This is a very sad situation. Very sad. So, this kid's a young kid. It says, in loving memory of Kenneth Hayman, beloved son, friend, community member, taken too soon. White Oak, PA. White Oak community is in mourning following the tragic, untimely death of 33-year-old Kenneth Hayman of McKeansport, who was fatally shot Sunday afternoon in a shocking act of violence. According to authorities, the shooting was reported around 2:15 p.m. near the intersection of Jacks Run Road and Lincoln Way. First responders arrived quickly and found Hayman suffering from gunshot wounds. He was transported to a nearby hospital, but despite life-saving efforts, he was pronounced dead. Allegheny Medical Examiner's Office confirmed Hayman's identity, and the community has since been grappling with the grief and disbelief over the sudden loss of a man remembered for his warmth, energy, and connections to friends and family. Police are actively investigating the incident, searching for a dark gray or black Silverado, but I believe they found the truck. Pennsylvania license plate, blah, 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 believed to be linked to the shooting. The vehicles reportedly had tinted windows, rain guards, and running boards. Authorities say 3 to 4 men wearing mask coverings and an unknown race were seen in the vehicle and should be considered armed and dangerous. Kenneth Hayman's remembered by those he knew as a vibrant individual who touched the lives of friends, family, and community members alike. He was always there for people and loved ones. One friend shares, Ken had a heart of gold. He always made everyone feel like family. This is such a loss for all of us. Allegheny County Police urge anyone with information about the shooting suspect vehicle to contact the tip line. Callers may remain anonymous. Even the smallest details could help bring justice for Kenneth and his grieving family. While the investigation continues, friends and family and the wider community are left to honor the life of a man taken far too soon. Kenneth Hayman's memory will live on through the love he gave, the laughter he shared, and the countless moments that made him an irreplaceable part of everyone's life. It says, rest in peace, Kenneth Hayman. Your life, your kindness, and your spirit will never be forgotten. I believe they did find the truck that was used in this situation. I mean, it's a sad situation. When is this type of stuff going to end? It's going to keep going tit for tat, tit for tat. Things have happened. People have been beat up. People had their cuts ripped off them. Like, when will this stuff end? They're still not a gang. I mean, I still don't consider them a gang. I consider it a group of guys within a motorcycle club who did a violent act. That still doesn't make them a gang. So you can't call them a gang. I mean, I thought some of these people are on the side of the motorcyclists to defend them against the media that is always portraying them as gang members. But they're not gang members. They're still a motorcycle club with some individuals who went and did a violent thing. Violence has always been a part of some of these clubs. I mean, the people who started these clubs came from a war. Like, that's what they did. P. Dot says only pigs say that motorcycle clubs are gangs. In the media, it's just crazy. No sound for 3 or 4 minutes. I know that sucks, but it is what it is. Got your voice now, Bill. Poor dude killed for what? Used to think clubs were great when I was younger, but now I'm older. I think they're dumb. It's just crazy, man. Like, what's the point? Like, when will this shit end? When does it say enough is enough and people come together instead of, I mean, there's going to be, what's the outcome? People are going to go to prison for the rest of their life. And other people are going to lose their life. Is that your trophy? That the trophy you're looking for? A life sentence? And you guys say, oh, free all the brothers that did this and that, defended the club. What's the point? I mean, is that really a noble thing? No. You're going to get busted for this type of shit. You're going to go to prison. Nobody's going to care. You're going to be a little blip on the news. Oh, people caught for this shooting. Boom. And people are going to move on. So really, when will this shit end? It's just crazy. I believe the war dogs started all this. But where did it start? We really don't know. It goes back from a long time. The war dogs going into this bar and doing what they did. Of course there was going to be repercussions for that. Who knows if the other side did that? You don't know who did this. Anybody could have did this. I mean, people could have pissed certain people off. Who knows? But it's a very sad situation that a young guy had to lose his life. He could have been not even part of any of this. And he has to be a victim of the violence that, I mean, I guess it goes with walk like a gang member, you're a gang member. Walk, act like a gang. I still don't believe that, man. I don't believe that these clubs are gang members. I don't care if there's 100 more shootings. They're still not a gang. They're a motorcycle club who have people that are committing acts of violence. It still doesn't make them a gang. The media wants you to think that, but it's just not true. They're not a gang.
And dangerous. That's how police are describing the gunmen involved in a deadly shooting this afternoon in White Oak. Shots rang out at the intersection of Lincoln Way and Jacks Run Road, where police found a man shot in the middle of the street. That man has just been identified as 33-year-old Kenneth Hayman. Our Krista Rose has been following this story for us and has more on who police are searching for.
Good evening. It was a violent afternoon here in White Oak Borough at the intersection behind me as shots rang out, leaving one person dead, a community in shock, and police searching for the killers.
And it happened in broad daylight, 2 in the afternoon. That's crazy. Around people just living their life right in front of Wendy's. I mean, any one of us could go to Wendy's and buy a burger, and then you're caught in the crossfire of this type of shit. It's just crazy. I don't condone any of this violence. It still doesn't make them a gang.
It all started around 2:15 p.m. at this intersection of Jacks Run Road and Lincoln Way. Witnesses told KDKA they heard several shots fired, followed by a body laying in the middle of the street and a vehicle speeding away. When police arrived, they rushed that shot individual to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Dennis Dahl, who lives nearby, says he didn't witness the shooting, but he's stunned that this happened in his community.
I was kind of shocked to see all the police and everything, and when I heard that there was a shooting, that's very rare around here. I have never actually heard of one. Not to say there hasn't been. The Key Sport is pretty close. You know, you hear of a lot of shootings down there, but for it to be coming over this way, definitely a concern.
This is the vehicle police are looking for, a dark gray or black Chevy Silverado with Pennsylvania license plate number HNL 9509. The vehicle is said to have tinted windows equipped with rain guards and beige running boards. Inside that vehicle, police believe were 3 to 4 masked men who were armed with long guns. Police say they should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. Now, anyone with any information about this homicide is asked to contact the Allegheny County Police tip line. We're going to have that number available to you on our website, kdka.com. All callers to that number, by the way, will remain anonymous. Reporting in White Oak, Allegheny County.
It will end when LE deems MCs a domestic terrorist group. I think they're already starting to try to do that. Clubs are not gangs. Frank says, rest in peace, Adam Carney, War Dogs MC. They're not a gang. They're fools that drink the Kool-Aid. It's just crazy. I don't know. I don't understand. People come here out onto the media and they defend things. They act like they're defending the people that are involved with these clubs, and then boom, all of a sudden they're on the side of calling them gangs. I don't understand it. And listen, you're always welcome to come up here and have a debate about it. Agreed. It's pointless. There's none that needs to be between the enthusiasts. Keep all the innocent citizens out of it completely. 100%. I agree. If this is what you want to do and you want to throw your life away for that type of shit, like, what's the point? Really? What's the point? Your family, you're not going to be in the club. You're going to be sitting in a prison cell, or you're going to be dead. And there is no trophy at the end of the tunnel. There isn't. You're not going to be deemed the winner. You're not going to be riding your motorcycle safely through town. People are not going to respect you. They're going to fear you. And I don't think that's a good way to live. Like, I mean, I think this stuff needs to stop, you know? Shane says, you want to see gangs come to Toledo hoods. There's gangs in every state, every town. People don't think of Connecticut as a gang-ridden state. It's listen, it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter where you're from, it's where you're at. There's gangs in every single state. I don't downgrade any state. I've seen I've been all over the country, and I've seen different places, and it's bad everywhere, I believe. You have to be ignorant to think might not die while playing that game, my opinion. Cito the Great, what's going on? How are you, man? Want to see real gangbangers come through the south side of Chi-Town? I've been there. Would know you used to live my life many moons ago. MCs are not gangs. I've been out there. Definitely been out there. War Dogs changed once they got a 1% patch. You're right about that. They used to not be a 1% club. I believe all the problems started when they threw the 1% patch on. Another thing is, I interviewed Cliff from the Red Rum Motorcycle Club, and we talked about the 1% patch, and he had the 13.5 diamond on his guts, and a big 1% club came to him and said, you can't wear that in this certain area. So he was thinking, you can't just take it off in one area. If you take it off one, you got to take it off all of them. So they decided to change it to an arrowhead. And people are saying, oh, you just folded. But he said, we're not trying to live up to anyone's standards. We're not living up to 1% lifestyle. Like, that's not who they are. They don't want to be that type of club. So I respect him a lot for his answer, the way he explained it. You guys will see that interview's coming out soon. Rest in peace to Nick the Blade. Mountain Woman, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. For real, like, what happens in the end? You don't win no trophy. You're not gonna drive through the town. They're gonna have a parade for you. Nobody wins in a situation like this. Nobody. One side goes to prison, the other side goes to the ground. Who wins? Nobody wins. Your family loses, the clubs lose, everybody loses, and it puts a negative light on these clubs. It just adds to it. So something needs to change. Stacks, what's your opinion on 1%? That has to change things. I think they need to sit down and talk. I think things need to be hashed out. And if they can, set up a boxing ring. Get 2 people to represent each club and handle business. And then whoever loses, just be a man about it. You know, there's no reason for people to die. There's absolutely no reason for people to die on either side. It was totally wrong that club went into the bar and beat the shit out of that one guy. All them people. For what? That was totally wrong. I don't condone any type of violence at all. There's no need for it. Where does violence fit into riding a motorcycle with a club? It shouldn't fit in anywhere. It definitely shouldn't happen. Swamp says, I spent 6 years active in a club, cost me 10 years in the feds, 5 years on paper, and every single thing I owned. The club didn't do shit for my wife and kid. Fact. See? Who wins? Nobody wins in the end. Gangs everywhere and MC clubs everywhere. Big difference. I agree with you. Good morning, Volts. How you doing? Thank you for joining me today. Shout out to everybody out there at Biketoberfest. Biketoberfest is going on right now. I believe it's almost over. Down in Daytona. Shout out to Billy. Billy's out there in Daytona. They need to get it together. I mean, when people start dying on both sides, that's when it starts to get like crazy, you know, because then people don't want to talk. Like, because people are dying. Poor dude killed for what? For nothing, man. Every club has a few bad apples. You're right about that. That still doesn't make them a gang. You know what I'm saying? Last I knew, War Dogs were veteran club. Nope, not anymore. Now they're a 1% club. They changed. Totally changed. I heard some people went from one side to the other. I've spoken to a lot of people within that club. They reached out to me when that first situation happened at the bar. Spoke to a lot of different people. Told me a lot of different things. So there's another situation going on. We'll get back to this situation. So my end. Yeah, New York has definitely. Red Rum does great things for the community. They host events. They're a positive club. They're definitely not trying to portray that image, and that shows it. That they changed the diamond. That shows that he said, we're not about that life. We don't want to be a diamond club. So they took it off, and you got to respect them for that. People have their own opinion on the stuff. Cliff is the real deal. Definitely is. We did a really good interview. It's going to be out soon. % are the few that is given up on society and governing agencies, and it's all different, you know. Yo, Stacks, were you in a club or just a gang? I was just in a gang, no club. I've hung out with club members in the past. I don't think people want to box in 2025, but they should. I mean, there's got to be a way to sit down, have these people sit down and iron this stuff out. I mean, it's only going to get worse, especially when situations like this are happening. You got to stop the violence before it escalates into something crazy. Hopefully they're able to do that, because nobody wants to see any of this stuff go on. Because like I said, people lose on both sides. It's not a positive thing for anybody. C-Stacks ministry helps everyone. That's why I joined Bikers for Christ. We were a bit rough around the edges, but we spread love and help fellow bikers. That's a noble thing. I have an interview coming up with a motorcycle ministry. He got killed because his club wanted to get into a fight with another club, basically for nothing. There is no trophy at the end of the tunnel. You're not going to get no accolades for this situation. It's all going to be bad, you know? If you're locked up or dead, you can't ride, can't party. What is it all about? I'm a Native American from New Mexico. Red Rum is legit and cool. And I asked him all the questions that we want to know. Is it strictly a Native American club? I asked him all of that. So you definitely want to check out that interview, because people want to know. Virginia Chaos, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. So today we're going to talk about this guy too. He's a Mongol associate. I think he's a part of a support club. Deputies arrest motorcycle club member for rendering man unconscious with a chokehold. This is out of Deltona. A man believed to be in a motorcycle club affiliated with the Mongols motorcycle gang, it says here, placed a bar patron in a sleeper chokehold over a sex joke, rendering him unconscious. Volusia Sheriff's deputy said Timothy Preston Clemens, 33, was arrested and charged with battery by strangulation. He is out of Volusia County Bench Jail on a $5,000 bail. Clemens is not a Mongol, but is a member of an affiliate club. Keeping It Real, I guess, is the name of the club. There was an oral sex joke that started the fight, according to deputies. They responded to the incident at Bulldog Pub at 577 Deltona Boulevard in Deltona around 7:54 p.m. on Tuesday, October 7th. Deputies said that while the Mongols motorcycle gang member was waiting in line for the bathroom, they misspoke in this article. They clearly said he was not a member of the Mongols. And then they go on to say, while Mongols member, and they say gang member, was waiting in line for the bathroom, the victim sitting at the bar made a joke about oral sex, which the Mongol gang member took offense to. The victim reported to deputies that he was seated at the bar when he observed a man who was in line for the bathroom and two Mongols gang members approached him. According to deputies, as the three gang members approached him, the victim was grabbed from behind by a fourth person and put in a chokehold. The victim said he was dragged from his bar stool and did not remember anything after that, deputies said. Keeping It Real Motorcycle Club member applied chokehold. On the surveillance video, deputies saw that the initial confrontation with the victim and the two Mongol gang members, as they approached the victim, a third Mongol tried to defuse the situation. That's when Clemens grabbed the man from behind, put him in a chokehold, and dragged him from the bar stool, deputies said. Shortly after deputies saw the victim being helped off the floor, he stands up, but a few seconds later, he falls face first on the floor, the victim laying on the floor for about 20 seconds before getting to his feet. The victim advised that the force applied was so great that it impeded his normal breathing, blood flow, and caused him temporarily to go unconscious. Deputies wrote in a report. Well, don't make sex jokes to a fucking motorcycle club. I mean, you sitting there at a bar stool and you think you're a fucking tough guy, and that's what happens, right? I mean, so do you agree with this guy for doing that? I mean, I kind of do, you know. Don't make jokes like that around people that do not play games. Some people just can't take a joke. Oh, I guess not. Some people can't take a joke. But what do you guys think? Yeah, Cito says Red Rum's open to anyone, 100%. Anyone that has that type of value. So there's a bunch of, speaking of the Red Rum Motorcycle Club, you guys know I interviewed a former member, right? The guy Johnny. Well, I was going to release that interview, and I found out some information about him. No bueno. I don't put people on my channel that abuse children. It won't happen. So I read some paperwork. No deal. So I took that down. Now he's going around telling people that the Red Rum Motorcycle Club paid me to take his video down. No, I took the video down because he abused a child and he beat his wife. So we're not going to stand for shit like that over here. I don't care who you are. So that's why I took the video down. And I've been in contact with Cliff for a long time, probably about 1.5 years. And we've been trying to coordinate an interview and finally made it happen. So these new clubbers were brought up on video games, not like any other times in club history. Times have changed 100%. It's just not the same anymore, you know? Joe, what's going on? Thank you for joining me this morning. It's really sad when people start losing their life because, like I said, there is no accolades at the end. You're not winning a trophy. You're not going to have some big, there's not going to be a big party for you if you win this side of a war. So, I mean, these people that did this are gonna get caught. We all know that. They're gonna get caught. Speaking of getting caught, the waste of lives that killed the little girl have been caught, all of them. They have $5 million bonds. And it's very tragic, this situation. But all these people are online saying, oh, rest in peace to this little girl. People that are family members. Where were they when this little girl was being abused? She was starved. She was beaten. And nobody in her family noticed? No one? She was missing for 1 year and you don't know where she went? You just assume that what? She's on vacation with someone? I don't understand how this type of stuff can happen. And this guy, they're saying that he's the one that did it. So apparently, how all this came to be, how it was exposed was there's a place, I guess they lived in Farmington. in a house. Allegedly, he unalived this little girl, put her in the basement inside a plastic tote. Had her body in there for about a year. Last Wednesday, he drove to New Britain with the body in the plastic tote and went behind a vacant house in New Britain and just left the plastic tote in back of the house. A neighbor saw him pull over, take the stuff out of the car, and throw it in back of the house. So they called the police. That's how all this came to be exposed. They figured out who he was. They looked at the plastic tote. They found the little girl's remains. They identified her. They backtracked on who her family was. They arrested the aunt, the mother. That's the aunt on the bottom right. They arrested the mother. That's her on the top right. And they arrested the mother's boyfriend. That's him on the bottom with the little scrapes on his face. Hopefully he gets a little better job than that. So he has a history of abuse. And the aunt, right here on the bottom right, she was on parole for abusing a child. Like, you can't make this shit up. You can't. And allegedly, DCF was involved. The school and DCF should be held accountable for this case. If DCF was involved, they didn't see the kid for a whole year. Where did they think she was? Stuff's not adding up. But I got the arraignment of these non-humans, because they're not. If they can do something that terrible, it's just terrible. But let's take a look at their arraignment.
Mr. Bill.
Hold on, let me get this for you guys.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Carla Garcia, she is 29 years old, currently resides in New Britain. She is a lifelong resident of the state of Connecticut. Not currently employed. Some high school education reported to our office. No substance use issues, but some mental health issues have been reported. In regards to cases, no pending matters, Your Honor. Last conviction was April of 2019, again out of New Britain, assault in the 3rd degree. She was placed on a 1 year suspended, 2 years probation. No other criminal record found for Ms. Garcia. In regards to this matter, bond was set at $5 million. That bond appears appropriate. I recommend that bond remain as set.
Set at $5 million. State is asking for special conditions of no contact with Jonathan.
Count one. I believe it's count one. But your client is entitled to probable cause hearing.
Yes, Judge.
Is she aware of that?
We talked to 3 people. Asking to have the excludable time at this point until the next court date.
So, what court date are you?
Yeah, looks like she ate all the food and didn't give the kids none, right? Children and Family Services failed all the time, every time. That's what they did. This shit really does piss me off, like, terribly. And I hope they never get a wink of sleep or rest, anything in prison.
11:14, please.
Now, with respect to the probable cause hearing, is there an objection to the court excluding the time?
And they're mad they got caught. They're not upset about the child being killed or nothing. They're mad they got caught.
The time within which that hearing must be held.
No, Judge, we have investigation that we need to be doing.
Okay, so the time between now and November 14th is excluded for purposes of
Oh, she's ugly, broad.
Probable cause hearing. Met conditions as requested by the state. Bond is going to be ordered post
authorization for my counsel.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And wait till you hear his history.
Public defender is appointed and assigned counsel is authorized.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Bilkers.
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Nanita is 30 years old,
outstanding out of New Britain Police Department. Date of the warrant is October 11th of this year. Destroying or tampering with evidence. The bond on that matter is $750,000. So again, that's still outstanding at the New Britain Police Department. Most recent convictions, December 9th of 2022 out of New Britain. Interfering, 364 days jail consecutive. Reckless endangerment in the first degree on the same file, again, 364 days jail consecutive. He also had a violation of probation. The probation was terminated on that same date. Underlying charge was a burglary in the first degree. He pled out in that in 2014 out of GA 15. It was 12 years after 6 years to serve, 5 years probation. The underlying charge was burglary in the second degree, 5 years jail concurrent. In a larceny first on that file, which was a...
State is asking that bond remain as set at $5 million. State is asking for non-financial...
The burglary in the second degree conviction in 2015. On this matter, same thing, the bond was set at $5 million. That appears appropriate. I'd recommend at least that bond remain as set.
I'm going to echo Attorney O'Neill's request that he not be ordered to cooperate with DCF.
Attorney Longwell, objection to the time between now and November.
Did you hear that? He ordered not to cooperate with DCF. I think DCF should be prosecuted too. I think there should be a whole lot of other people prosecuted in this case because people knew what was going on. People were around. What did they think? Where did they think this little girl was for a year? People need to be held accountable. And I hope they don't put them in PC. I hope they put them in general population.
For purposes of calculating the time within which.
See, people are yelling. They just can't control themselves.
Get out of here. Get out of the courtroom. Leave the courtroom now.
Mr. Bill,
This is the aunt.
yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. So Ms. Garcia, she is 28 years of age, residing in New Britain, has been there for 2 months. Lifelong.
She's the one that got the lowest charges. She got cruelty to person or something like that. And the other ones got $5 million bonds. $5 million.
President of the state of Connecticut. Not currently employed at this time. Was looking for warehouse style work. Does have.
She's crying because she got caught.
High school education and a little bit beyond that as well. Some medical issues reported to our office. Prior substance use. No mental health issues reported.
Hey, facts over feelings. How you doing?
In regards to cases, she is currently on parole. There is a parole remand lodged. She's on parole out of a case for New Britain, pled out September 11th.
That's someone's phone went off.
So she pled out in New Britain.
Surprised they didn't take it. Usually they'll take your phone.
September 11th, 2024, risk of injury to a child.
She was charged with risk of injury to a child before. What?
Attorney Roper?
Why was she around a child to begin with?
This warrant,
Remand has been lodged. The max date for that parole is April 19th of 2026. That is her only criminal conviction on this matter. Bond was
is going to ask that bond remain as set on the warrant at $1 million. State would ask for the following
clerk's office.
Yes, sir. I have provided them to the clerk's office and with a copy to the court monitor.
Attorney.
Your Honor, I don't have not a lot of money for bond. The parole hold, obviously. Just ask for a reasonable one.
She's got a parole hold, right? She's on parole for abusing a child. Crazy. Like, you can't make this shit up. You can't. Like,
surety. And I'm going to order that you have no contact with those individuals who are identified by Attorney Wilberg. I am not going to order any cooperation with DCF to the extent that I think that could have an impact on
I think DCF needs to be held accountable too.
They'll be on the party docket.
Yes.
They need to be charged in this case too, because they are culpable in this shit. So again, the young man that was killed in the motorcycle gunfire, he was 33 years old, young kid. It's crazy. He worked as a, I think, an iron worker. And this all transpires from this situation. When the war dogs stormed a bar and started beating a patron up. We'll take a look at that news video one more time from the shooting.
Armed and dangerous. That's how police are describing the gunmen involved in a deadly shooting this afternoon in White Oak. Shots rang out at the intersection of Lincoln Way and Jacks Run Road, where police found a man shot in the middle of the street. That man has just been identified as 33-year-old Kenneth Hayman. Our Krista Rose has been following this story for us and has more on who police are searching for.
Good evening. It was a violent afternoon here in White Oak Borough at the intersection behind me as shots rang out, leaving one person dead, a community in shock, and police searching for the killers. It all started around 2:15 p.m. at this intersection of Jacks Run Road and Lincoln Way. Witnesses told KDKA they heard several shots fired, followed by a body laying in the middle of the street and a vehicle speeding away. When police arrived, they rushed that shot individual to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Dennis Dahl, who lives nearby, says he didn't witness the shooting, but he's stunned that this happened in his community.
I was kind of shocked to see all the police and everything, and when I heard that there was a shooting, that's very rare around here. I have never actually heard of one. Not to say there hasn't been. McKeesport is pretty close. You know, you hear of a lot of shootings down there, but for it to be coming over this way, definitely a concern.
This is the vehicle police are looking for, a dark gray or black Chevy Silverado with Pennsylvania license plate number HNL 9509. The vehicle is said to have tinted windows equipped with rain guards and beige running boards.
I believe they found the vehicle.
Inside that vehicle, police believe were 3 to 4 masked men who were armed with long guns. Police say they should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. Now, anyone with any information about this homicide is asked
Mountain
to contact
Woman,
the
what's
Allegheny
up?
County Police tip line. We're going to have that number available to you on our website, kdka.com. All callers to that number, by the way, will remain anonymous. Reporting in White Oak, Allegheny County.
Sad situation. I will let you guys know when new details emerge. There's a lot more content on the way. Make sure you stay tuned. If you mistake the war dogs made was that situation at the bar. 24 guys jumped one man at a bar. 100%. It's the whole situation's escalating, and hopefully it all dies down. Something needs to happen. These people need to sit down and hash it out, figure it out, because this is gonna get crazy if it keeps going on like this. Then nobody's going to be able to do nothing. Nobody's going to enjoy. You're not going to enjoy your motorcycle club. It's going to turn into a war zone. And it seems like it's already going that way. So hopefully they can get it together. I don't condone any violence on either side. They need to stop this crazy shit. And because people are going to be affected for the rest of their life over nothing. Jonathan, what's going on? It's senseless. It really is. I mean, this kid was 33 years old. You don't know if he had any involvement in the situation at the bar. You don't even know. In other news, I don't know if I told you guys, D'Angelo, the singer D'Angelo, has passed away from pancreatic cancer. Seems like a lot of people are passing away lately. And happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you guys have a great day. I hope you like this show. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother's sister's friend about Chat with Stacks, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I got some shorts for you we're going to play right now. This is of the Motorcycle Ministries, Kevin. It's really good. It's going to be dropping in a couple days.
She said, this gentleman's been sitting here for almost 3 days waiting to get up and see his person there. He said, well, I'm a real pastor. And it's kind of a funny story. My wife shared the memory on Facebook the other day, and I was looking at it. A brother was in the hospital there in East Texas, and they wouldn't let me in. And I pulled my pastor card, and I said, I'm his pastor. I'm not just his brother, I'm his pastor. And she said, well, you're just going to have a seat over there. And this gentleman walked in with a 3-piece suit and the shiny shoes, the slick back hair, and he wanted to make a pastor's visit. And the little pink lady at the desk, right? She said, well, I'm sorry, we're trying to get all of that sorted out right now. And she pointed at me. She said, this gentleman's been sitting here for almost 3 days waiting to get up and see his person there. He said, well, I'm a real pastor.
The media spins the narrative when it comes to motorcycle clubs. What is your perception of motorcycle clubs, 1% clubs?
Depends on which one they are. I've got opinions. I probably need to keep them to myself. My primary purpose today is to try to give all the honor and glory to God from a Christian motorcycle perspective. However, I've got opinions on all of that. We started I pastored a motorcycle church there in my little town for 5 years. And then COVID kind of wrapped all of that up. The end of Waco wrapped all of that up. Had a motorcycle ministry here for a lot of years. And politics stepped in, and that went by the wayside.
So there's a lot of motorcycle clubs in your area in Texas, right?
A whole lot. Yes, sir.
And what area in Texas are you? Near Houston or?
Northeast Texas, Longview. Right. Shreveport, Louisiana is about 45 minutes from the house. We're right on the Texas-Louisiana border, right on that.
You've seen these clubs grow over the years and explode in popularity? Like, what type of stuff have you seen over the years? But like notifications, death notifications, right? You go notify the family.
Yeah, I have been with I've been with family members whose parents took their last breath, right? I mean, I've literally held the father's hand when he took his last breath. It's very humbling, very, very humbling to be in that role. And man, I knew it was all a season when I went into it. And I'm truly, truly grateful that God gave me that opportunity to minister to those guys and spend time with those guys and plant those seeds. I may have been the only Bible they ever read. Some days are better than others. I had to get on a waiting list there at Stone Mountain Harley Davidson in Atlanta. Stayed on a list for a year. In those days, you had to get on a list to get a new one. And they called me and said, man, we got one in. I don't know if you want it or not. It's cobalt blue. They said, if you want it, come get it, come look at it. If you don't, we understand. You can have the next one that comes in. And it was definitely purple, but I bought it. I didn't want to wait any longer for a new one.
Did you paint it?
Nah, I rode it right on up till 2002 and traded it for a 100th anniversary Electra Glide with all of the gold key stuff on it. Then I rode the wheels off of it. Ended up, trading it for, I guess, in 12 for a Electra Glide again.
So stay tuned. That one's going to be dropping in the next couple days. I hope you guys like this show. Check out Patreon. There's a lot of content over there. I'm uploading videos all the time. So check it out. The link's in the description of this video. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chatting with Stacks. And if you want to tell your story on Chatting with Stacks, just email me at billstacks2021@gmail.com. We got a lot of great things in the works, so stay tuned. It's about to get real. And if you don't like this show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.